Okay, so here I am with my lawyer, Mr. Zargarian. We are in front of the courthouse in Smithers, BC, and we are here on this joyous occasion of July 11th, 2022, to celebrate my victory over the Crown. Uh, and Canada, in that, and the Queen. The Queen personally has not apologized to me or personally admitted that she was wrong and that I was right. But in the case of the Queen of England versus Anton Bickert, then Anton Bickert has emerged the supreme victor. Partly due to the efforts of Mr. Zargarian here. Am I getting all the facts straight?
Pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay. So yeah, I was charged with assault police with a weapon on January 7th, 2019, and basically that was related to the RCMP raid of Wet'suwet'en land defense camp, and I was taken into custody along with 13 other people. For some reason, they charged me and one other man with criminal charges, and and basically they charged me with assault police with a weapon, saying that I assaulted a police officer with a flagpole. This was not true, and despite all of their lack of evidence, they decided to um, continue with these charges, and they put me on trial once before, and the matter was adjourned on a technicality. Could you speak a little bit about the why it was adjourned the first time around?
I think you guys ran out of court time.
Yeah, we ran out of
Yeah.
court time. So basically, procedurally, my lawyer screwed up at that time. Um,
I want to say that you just ran out of time.
he ran out of time. So then I had to come back. So I've already had to, you know, come here, travel vast distances in order to attend court. And yeah, and this time I came all the way from Mexico, very long distance, in order to appear. And the court date was today. And so, for months, this has been hanging over my head. And traveled all the way from Mexico. I had to go from where I live in San Cristobal de las Casas in Chiapas, all the way to the Yucatan Peninsula, fly from Cancun to Toronto. My mom picked me up in Toronto, brought me to Ottawa. I flew from Ottawa to Vancouver, from Vancouver to Smithers, and then 24 hours before the trial was set to begin, then Mr. Zargarian here receives word from the Crown that the charges have been stayed. And why did you say that the charges have been stayed?
The Crown determined there is no longer a substantial likelihood of conviction.
And do you think that there was ever a substantial likelihood of conviction?
There's always a possibility of conviction.
What's your professional opinion of this case?
I think the outcome was appropriate.
Do you think that it was abnormal? Do you think that I was being kind of targeted for political reasons? Or do you think that, what's your opinion of this case? You mean, it seems quite abnormal to me.
I think it was normal.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think you had a pretty regular experience. It was a political context, but as far as the charges arising, it was unsurprising and not out of the ordinary.
Okay, and then in terms of why do you think the Crown didn't show?
Because they're staying the charges, so there's no need for them to attend personally. So they appeared remotely.
And so is this something that's normal for charges to be dropped the last minute like this?
It happens.
How commonly?
Well, charges don't get stayed mid-trial too commonly, but it happens sometimes.
Okay, so do you think that they were just fucking with me all along and just dragging this out and like making it as costly and as time consuming as possible, and they always intended to drop it? Or do you think
No.
they made a decision to change their strategy at the last minute?
Yeah, well, we had further discussions between the Crown. The Crown and I had further discussions, and we discussed the case, including the evidence, the video, different legal issues, and the burden of proof. And the Crown went and subsequently talked to their witness. And on the basis of those discussions with myself, the law, consideration of the law, and further discussion with the witness, she concluded that the charge approval standard, which is a substantial likelihood of conviction, was no longer met, and it was no longer worth consuming the court's time or the time of the parties.
So you taking credit for the victory then?
I take partial credit for the victory.
Okay.
Yeah,
But really,
luck
all
is
praise
always-
is due to Allah. All right.
Can't dispute that.